This is like liquid velvet. Don't just think that stuff like this just like happens from thin air. Kia ora and welcome back. My name's Zoe Stebe, your vocal coach for today. And in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at Regine Velasquez singing Araw, Gabi. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm trying my best. Let's get to the video. Maybe you've never sung a note in your life and you've got no idea where to start. Then this course is for you. The basic building blocks for singing so that you can start your singing journey today. Let's see what Regine is up to with her voice. With her voice.
Wish 1075.
Di biro ang sumulat ng awiting para sa'yo. Para akong isang siraulong hilo at lito. Sa akin pang mina ng piano, tiklado'y pilit nilaro. Baka sakaling merong tonong bigla na lang umusbong. Tungkol saan naman kaya.
This is like liquid velvet. Liquid velvet. This is beautiful. Stunning. What's she doing? Absolutely stunning. What is she up to with her voice though? That's a really, really lovely falsetto there at the beginning. And she's like just really fleetingly bringing the vocal cords together. You can sort of hear because it goes breathy and then it goes not breathy. I don't understand what she's singing and I don't know the song very well. It's the first time listening to it. But when she's got that ba-da-da-da-da-da, and what's happening then? It's going from that lovely chest voice, speech quality sound into that falsetto and then into the thin vocal fold. So like that is just like so hard to do. Get practicing those scales, everyone, if you're wanting to sing more like this. But let's keep looking at what she's up to.
Aling merong tonong bigla na lang umusbong. Tungkol saan naman kayang awiting para sa'yo. Di biro ang gawing sukat ang titik sa tono. Sampu man aking diksyonaryo kung ang tugma'y tiwasto. Basta't hiniping di magbabago damdamin ko sa'yo. Araw, gabi, nasa isip ka na.
This is just, it's a really interesting because I had literally no idea what she would sound like, but this is just so fine and just, it's really focusing on the text, obviously, if I was to understand what was being sung. But really notice as well that finesse at which she's going from like the bottom of her range right up to the top with that slightly breathy tone. That is hard. So if you're looking to strengthen like specific aspects of your voice, I want you to think about singing in each of these qualities with the vocal warm-ups or with the scales and arpeggios. You can check out 1 or 2 or 3. I don't know. Over here, I've got like a really big playlist of all of them. But I want you to think about, you know, singing that whole thing. For example, you could go and sing on that lovely breathy falsetto quality, and then you could sing the next one, for example, on like a chest voice, and then sing it in your chest voice quality, and then you could do it in the slightly thinner, quieter sound. And you go through practicing all these different qualities on all of those scales and arpeggios and really strengthening your voice that way. And then you can interchange them with your songs. So don't just think that stuff like this just like happens from thin air, but it's really about strengthening the voice just through practice. So like just get out there and do some singing.
nasa isip ka, napapanaginip ka, kahit saan magpunta, araw, gabi, nalalasing sa tuwa. Kapag kapiling ka, araw, gabi, tayong dalawa. Oh, biruin mong nasabi ko ang nais kong ipahatid. Dapat mo lamang mabatid laman itong dibdib. Tila 10 daang awitin ang natapos kong likhain. Ito ang tunay na damdamin, tanggapin at tingin. Araw-gabi.
Before she continues going, I just have to say, I'm like, but I feel like I can do this to like a lot of the singers that I have a look at. I mean, like, amazing, such artistry in the voice is stunning. And I'm loving hearing some of that warmth coming into her sound now. You can really hear the and you almost hear that sort of warmth like Barbra Streisand, right? I'm like a massive Barbra Streisand fan as well. But how is that created? And that is created, and you can really hear that, you know, at the beginning it was sort of like quite a lighter sound, and then it's now getting a bit darker. And what happens there, and you can really see it as well, the larynx is starting to drop, and she's allowing that vibrato as well to come into the sound. And you can see that shake of the throat as well that's happening with there. And that is the vibrato that we can really control. So we can control how big it is and how small it is as well, and refined. And our ears really only like the vibrato to go to 1/4 of a note. So anything larger than that would sort of be considered a wide vibrato, but she's got a very, very regular vibrato. And that sounds to us then as a beautiful sound when the vibrato is regular and it's not too wide. That's what we're looking for with sort of like beautiful singing, if you call it. I mean, this is just stunning.
Araw-gabi, nasa isip ka, napapanaginip ka, kahit saan magpunta. Araw-gabi, nalalasing sa tuwa. Kapag kapiling ka, araw-gabi, tayong dalawa. Araw-gabi, tayong dalawa. Araw-gabi, tayong dalawa. Araw-gabi, nasa isip ka, napapanaginip ka, kahit saan magpunta. Araw-gabi, nalalasing sa tuwa. Kapag kapiling ka, araw-gabi, tayo dalawa. Araw-gabi, tayong dalawa. Araw-gabi, tayong dalawa.
Wish Exclusive on Wish 107.5.
that was like a journey. That was a journey, that song. It started off and I thought, oh yeah, this is like a nice ballad. And then she just went for it. I should have known because someone suggested that I take a look at this over on my Lea Salonga video, and like, mind blown. I can't believe I've never heard of this woman before. Like, what have I been living under a rock? This is stunning. Did you notice as well that she, like, you know, she sorted herself out and then, you know, got ready to sing again. And, you know, she looked chilled as a cucumber, but what I really love though, she really like started to sit up tall and pull up through the back. And you notice that the chin went up slightly. And that's a really surefire way for when you're wanting to hit in more of that chest voice quality, that you can hit those higher notes without straining the voice. It just gives you like a little bit more space here at the back of the throat when you sort of just raise. You could see there as well. Did you notice when she went to those higher notes, the tongue was really like scooped up, but the sides of the tongue were definitely like up by the top molars. The top of the tongue was forward, and that is, it's like literally the only way that you're going to be able to hit any of those like higher belted notes is with a lovely high tongue position. And the sound, again, it went like a little bit darker, but that is an effect that's created by the darkening or the lowering of the larynx and not smashing the tongue back low. So if you're a beginner singer and you're like, I just don't know how to create, what do I do with my tongue? Like, how do I do these things? Then in the description below, check it out. My brand new online course, The Fundamentals of Singing Part 1, is coming out very, very soon. Literally, it's 10 singing lessons smushed into one course, and it's all about posture, breathing for singing, tongue, how do you practice, how do you warm up, all those things that you might be just like, where do I start? That is what the fundamentals of singing is all about. Just looking at literally what do you need to do to start your singing journey. So thank you so much for joining me here today, everyone. It's been a pleasure to have a look at Regine. I can't wait to look at more songs by her, but I've got to go because I've got to start teaching and I'm running like a minute late already. So have an awesome rest of your day. Ka kite anō.